what you all been waiting for.
All right, what's up? It is Way Up with Angela Yee, and look who's back again. DeVon Franklin's here with us, and my girl Serayah is here. Welcome to Way Up. I feel like I'm gonna see you a lot now because you're kind of like in this area now. So
yes, this is true.
We have all kinds of plans.
Yes.
So Ruth and Boaz, congratulations on a really amazing movie to watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's out right now on Netflix, so anybody that wants to watch it, make sure you go and stream it if you haven't already. I already know it's number one.
All right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because y'all have been doing a great job with this. What is the story of Ruth and Boaz for people who don't know it? Because this is a modern twist.
Yes, it's a modern twist of the biblical love story told in the book of Ruth. And basically, it's about a woman who makes a decision to follow what she feels is right, even though it makes no sense. Mm-hmm. And that journey and decision to follow what she feels is right leads her to a country town named Pegram, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And while she's there, she has to find work for her and Naomi, who's kind of like her surrogate mother. And she goes to work in a vineyard, and come to find out it is owned by Boazra, who ultimately becomes her love interest. And so it's a powerful story that is rooted, in the Bible. But to your point, it's a modern take of two people not looking for love, but they ultimately find it.
Mm-hmm. Did you know the story already, Serayah?
Like roughly. I feel like, growing up in church, it's always like referenced, like find your Boaz.
That's a good quote right there. Find your
Boaz. Yeah. So in that aspect, yes. But the actual full story, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there's so many lessons to be learned from this. And it's so interesting, like having both of you here and watching your journeys, even personally outside of this, because sometimes you go through different things to get to where you're exactly meant to be.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Were there certain parallels that you were seeing, like in real life? Because I have to imagine as an actor, you see things and you're drawing on your own personal life and experiences.
Yeah. I mean, like Ruth, like you said, is on this journey where she's following her gut feeling to find something more meaningful and purposeful in her life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've been there. I feel like we've all been there when we're rerouting and figuring things out. And she's in that space in her life. And like you said, she wasn't looking for love when she found it. Matter of fact, she had a lot of guards up. Mm-hmm. She didn't really believe that love was for her.
No, she didn't.
She had a lot of abandonment issues and things like that. So, I think there's a lot of similarities between me and Ruth for sure.
And you too, right, DeVon?
Yeah.
Because they always say, they do always say that love finds you when you're not looking for it.
I 1,000% believe it. And the irony about Ruth and Boaz is, I came up with this idea for this movie maybe about, what are we in? We're in September, so a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And I was, just trying to figure out, Tyler Perry and I had closed our deal with Netflix. And so I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the first movie going to be? And as I, was doing a sermon series on the book of Ruth about what it means to be single, I was like, wait a minute, this story reads like a movie. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's ever been a modern version of the movie. Now, the interesting thing about this is that I came up with that idea at the beginning of March and immediately started working on it with the writers who wrote the screenplay, Mike Elliott and Corey Tynan. At the end of March, I ended up meeting Maria, who is now my wife. And as we were developing, me and the writers were developing the story, they would put things in the script that I would read, and I'm like, guys, how do you know that I'm actually living this? Mm-hmm. And so it was so interesting to see my love story unfold alongside of the development and the production of the film. And then when I showed Maria the film for the first time, she cried, and she was like, this is us. And so it was just
very sweet.
It was so sweet. And I'm like, wow, life imitates art, art imitates life. And for me, when you talk about looking, the thing about Ruth and Boaz in the movie is that neither of them are looking, yet they find themselves ready to receive love.
Yeah, because I don't know who Boaz was going to find in this small town. Like, it was
right.
No one.
but here's the beautiful thing about love. So often we're out there looking as if it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. But look at this. Boaz, all he had to do was show up and do the work. Mm-hmm. All Ruth had to do was show up and do work. And what happens? God puts them together. Neither had to go looking. Boaz didn't have to worry about, okay, well, there's not the right person. God brought the right person at the right time.
You know, I'm curious about this because there are people, and they call the show all the time, like, it's so hard to date. How do I find somebody? Like, and sometimes I will tell people, because now we have so much access, like with online dating, with social media. And I will tell some people sometimes, like, you got to get out the house, you got to do that. And sometimes even be proactive. Like, if you're looking for a job, you're going to apply. If you want to, because I do know a lot of people who are now trying online dating. It's a lot harder for people, I think, to, like, get out and about nowadays. And so it's interesting because sometimes I feel like you also have to, like, try really hard. And, you know, it sounds great to be like, when you're not looking, it happens, because that does happen. But sometimes you do have to, like, put yourself in the position.
But it's the mentality. That's the difference.
Okay.
You can absolutely, I think, be on apps and go out on dates, but do you have a looking spirit or do you have a receiving spirit? It's very different. When I'm out here, looking for my keys, what happens? I get frantic. I get frustrated because I can't find them. Versus like, you know what? The keys will reveal themselves. I will continue to look under the couch. I'll look under this pillow, but I'm not going to get into a place of being frustrated. I'm going to be in a place of they will be discovered when it's time. It's a totally different mentality. So yes, you can be on apps and you can do all that, but you don't have to be out there with the look. You're like, oh, I got to find the person. No, that person's going to show up, and I'll be ready when they show up, and they will be ready when I show up.
Were you at all resistant, like for both of you in your situations now? Do you feel like you were resistant at the time? Because sometimes also, it can be fate and divine, and it brings you together, but we do, and just like Ruth in the movie, have our walls up, and we're kind of resistant to it. And I think we get scarred by things in the past. And so sometimes we're like, I don't even want to go down there. And I've heard people say this, I'm never going to love anybody again. I'm never going to do this again. So in your situation, do you feel like, because, you know, coming off like public situations and then going into something else that you know is also going to be another public situation, sometimes you could be like, I don't even feel like dealing with this.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's human, right? That's what Ruth went through too, where it's just like, let me just reroute, refocus, and like not make another person my focus. And I feel like we kind of decide in our own heads, like, this is what I need to do. But like DeVon was saying, it's like it's not that you're hoping, okay, I'm not going to look, so the person's going to pop up. But I think that, I think spirit will kind of reveal what you need. And if that is in another person, a friend, a colleague, anybody, they will show up and kind of like be there for you. Not to say that there's not going to be any walls or anything you guys go through. I think that, much like Ruth, I've been a guarded person as well, from past experiences, lived experiences, life, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that it is a space where you kind of have to, like DeVon always says, which I've been really listening. I've been listening. You have to have the receiving spirit, you know, and sometimes when you do have those walls or those guards up, if the person is right for you, I feel like they will make the space safe enough for you to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to try again.
You know, DeVon, you've also put yourself out there doing a one-man show. And really like telling your story. How healing was that for you? And how is it for you too? Because I even see like you acting on Divorced Sisters. People be mad at your role.
I know.
And they act like you're not acting, but they're
I
mad
still have
at
to
you
catch up. I have to
for
catch
picking
up.
an acting
check it
role.
out.
Because you are kind of like, you know, I'd be like, he is wild for this, like on the show.
I'm a little abrasive, you know. Pray for Pastor
that most
Jeff.
of us would want to, you know, come across and date.
It's okay. Wait till you wait to the second half of the show.
No
second half of the series. It's okay. You're gonna see Pastor Jeff redeems himself. You know, but yeah, for me, doing that one man show, you know, it's called Be True, and it'll be an audio book that comes out in January.
On Audible, right?
Yeah, on Audible. And that was the most terrifying, cathartic, rewarding experience I've ever done, because, you know, going to your previous question, you know, that one man show basically walks the audience and the listener through my journey from divorce to remarriage. And so I really kind of, you know, open up in ways I never had before about, okay, well, what went into, you know, those decisions, and where was I? And it's really from my point of view about the work that I needed to do. And so having to face that and face myself, and then find a way to articulate that was terrifying, because it's just me on stage, doing this and trying to make sure that I'm articulating a journey in a way that anyone listening will be able to go on the ride with me. And I talk about in the One Man Show the answer to your question about, was it easy for me, to date again? Was I open to it? And my first response was like, yo, how did I get here? I mean, that was my first response in the moment. Like, how did I get here? And I wasn't looking to date, and I wasn't looking, for love. I was looking to first just understand me. What was my role, in my life? And what are the things that I did that contributed to this result that I didn't pray for? And so as I sifted and sorted through that, part of my healing process was to start dating, was to be open to experiences, was to explore, okay, DeVon, what's the right fit? And who's the right fit for you? And so one of the most difficult things for me, and I think anyone going through, has gone through heartbreak or heartache, is to keep your heart open.
Right.
Because it is so easy.
People get physically ill.
Absolutely.
Physical.
Yes, because when you go through a breakup, or you go through, divorce, or you just go through heartbreak, like the first instinct is, I'm going through so much pain, I don't want to go through this again.
It's grief.
So it's grief.
It's literally grief.
It's grief. And we're like, and so in our protectiveness, we say, no, I'm not going to do it. But then what happens is we not only hurt ourselves, but we give that previous relationship the say over our entire future.
Right.
Because the reason why we aren't open has everything to do with what we just came out of. And so instead of being able to move forward, every time we move forward, we go back and give this relationship that's dead, it's done.
Yeah.
We try to give
All
it
the
life.
power, right.
All the power. So for me, I had to say, I got to stay open. I got to stay open to love. It might be hard, might be difficult, but I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be a giver. I'm going to be a lover. That's who I'm going to be. And at the right time, the right person will reveal themselves. And that's what happened with Maria. I mean, I wasn't looking for her. It just happened at the right time. And when she came into my life, I had to say, the first date we went on was Easter Sunday. And,
Wow.
Yeah.
That is Ruth and Boaz.
Ruth and Boaz. It's crazy, okay? And the moment we met, the first conversation, I said, oh, Lord, okay, God, I get it. It's happening. So then I just had to say, okay.
What happened in that first conversation?
It was just a conversation.
We need to know.
You just knew. You just know. It was just, she was just being her lovely, just amazing, dynamic self.
So lovely.
She is, right? I mean.
And it was so sweet because when we were shooting the film, he showed me, this is, this is my girlfriend, I really, let me show you, he's so excited about her. And I'm like so excited for him. I'm like, let me see. And I'm like, I know her.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew her already.
Yes, Maria. I love Maria. She's so sweet. She's a trainer and so many other beautiful things. But I had worked with her before when I lived in LA. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I remember looking at you and being like, perfect match.
I love
She's
that.
so sweet.
Now, could you tell that Serayah was pregnant during filming?
No.
Okay.
Now, see, let's talk about this one.
Okay.
Let's talk about this one. Okay, we're shooting the movie.
She's sick.
and let me tell you, there are scenes. She's got to dance. She's got choreography. She was number one on the call sheet. She had to remember all the lines.
Yeah, you had a lot, girl. That movie was about you.
Oh yeah, I didn't have one day off.
1,000%. And
Every
it
day.
was not until after we wrapped the movie that I finally found out that she was pregnant. And I said, what? And she was like pregnant for almost the whole shoot.
Yeah.
So it was miraculous what you did.
Yeah,
that was miraculous. I don't even know how you did it.
I don't either. Honestly.
But the timing was good. Because,
great.
Because then you were able to finish that, have the baby, then promote it
Yeah,
after. You know what I'm
right?
saying? Like,
So,
the timing's
see?
amazing.
God
It
works in mysterious ways.
Totally. I mean, because I'm telling you, it was, when I go back and I look at the movie and I think about all that you had to have been dealing with physically.
Yeah.
But to be like, nope, this is my movie and I'm going to show up and I'm not going to, she didn't drop one word.
Right.
There was not one day that she was late. I mean, it was just like amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I was crawling out of my hotel, like
No one
crawling into the
knows.
back of the Sprinter van every day. I'm like, oh, please, God, just pray. Like, please, just get me through this day.
Wow. And I told you this already, but I felt like your passion when you were singing. I mean, you literally have a song that Babyface wrote for you and the way that you sing is just so emotional. I was getting choked up watching it. And I
Thank
think that
you.
says a lot. Like for anybody that's watching this, just what you put into this, you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much. I
Like
really
I was
appreciate
really,
that.
really impressed
Thank you.
by seeing you on there. I can't even imagine like once everybody, if you haven't already seen it, sees it, I can't imagine what's going to happen for you after this.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm accepting all that energy.
Yeah.
And even Felicia Rashad, like,
Wasn't
talk
she
to
amazing?
Talk to me about that, because that's like your surrogate mother.
Yes.
You know, in the movie. How was that? I met her twice, like briefly. I met her in the hallway up here, and then at the Gracie Awards. That's one person that I was like tongue tied to even say something to. Like, it's Felicia Rashad. So
Yeah.
how was that for you? Like the first time you met her, did she give you any advice? What was it like having conversations?
You know, like she's just, man, she's so regal and like just pleasant to be around, honestly. And obviously she's talented, all those things, but she makes herself like, she's very grounded. Like she wasn't above, her energy didn't feel above anyone. If anything, she was like, yo, stop it. You know, stop
she
doing
sure
that.
was.
Like,
That's
you know,
right.
I remember
That's
we were
right.
doing that scene where the guy like hits her.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, you know.
Oh,
And she's like, I'm fine.
She sure did.
And yeah, she was
everybody froze.
That's
like,
right.
yeah, she
That's
was
right.
telling the guy like, don't be afraid to hit me. Like, hit me. This is the scene.
She sure did.
And so I just really appreciated her, and I spent many of moments you know, in our cast chairs just talking, and we were just talking about love and relationships and life. And then I found out she's also a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Her birthday is June 19th. I'm June 20th. I was like, oh my God, you really are my surrogate mother.
No, women Gemini are amazing. Men Geminis are a little like, they're great, but they're also
Oh man, I
like,
keep hearing this. My son is a Gemini.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he has you as his mother.
Yeah,
so
he has me as his
he'll
mother.
be all
It's
right.
not He gonna be okay.
Because I've definitely dated a Gemini before. And
No, I hear this a lot,
And
so
he
I'm
was
like, we
amazing,
don't have to
but
get
he
him in
also
order.
was definitely, you know how they say Geminis are two different people?
Yeah.
He definitely was like two different people, like the most amazing
Yeah.
person, but the person that can make you so mad. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure.
now, you know, I want to also talk about, for you, DeVon, you also talked about being raised by women.
Yeah.
You know, mostly. And I'm just curious how that has shaped you and how you think, and like even just how you interact, you know, with other people. Because if I'm not mistaken, your mom, your grandmother, their 7 sisters, like
Yes.
that's a lot of women to be raised by as a kid. And I know a lot of times, you know, I know a lot of men that aren't that great at like expressing themselves or being really like empathetic. How do you feel like that shaped you?
You know, it shaped everything. I mean, you know, my father died when I was 9 years old of a heart attack when he was 36. And so my mother, you know, was a single mom basically, and brought in the help of my grandmother and my grandmother's 7 sisters to raise us. And so what was interesting is as me and my brothers, you know, were getting older, as we grew up, they would like talk to us about life. I mean, you know, they would talk to us about their sex life. They would talk to us about what, you know, what they did. I'm not lying. I am not lying. We were kids and they were telling us about, we want you to be a good lover when you get older. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I am dead serious. So they would talk to us about that. They would talk about sex, you know, about money, you know, and how they made, you know, the wrong decisions in money. They
That's
would also,
good.
yeah,
That's a good conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would also, you know, talk. They would also like bring us into their relationships. So, like a lot of times, they would order things to another sister's house because they didn't want their husband to know that they were spending this money. So,
That's a real thing.
I would always say, when I grow up, I want my wife to feel comfortable ordering whatever she wants to the house. Yes.
Listen, my mom hid it in the trunk until and that stuff would be in the trunk until my dad was nowhere around, and she'd sneak right in the house with the bags.
Exactly.
What?
You know,
That's
so
so
for
funny.
me, it was having them in our lives really gave us, you know, I think a really strong foundation, you know, to not be afraid to express ourselves and to also understand, like, okay, here's what, you know, a strong woman looks like. And interestingly enough, when you look at the films that I have produced, they have been predominantly about strong women, you know, and I feel like that has a lot to do with, you know, that influence and impact that they've had on my life.
That's why you've never been scared to do lip service. He'll be like, I'm going to come on to lip service. I'm like, really? DeVon wants to come on lip service?
And we have a good conversation.
Yeah, that's the selling point, too, when people be nervous. I'm like, DeVon Franklin did it twice.
Twice, okay?
What are you nervous about?
Nothing to be nervous about. If he can come and came back,
right.
It's not, now I can say Serayah did it. It's no problem.
Oh, yeah. I got to see how that came out.
It was great.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a good conversation. Way different than Joey's conversation when he.
Oh man, that's so funny because I didn't know. I told him that last. I was like, "Babe, I didn't know that that's where you shared that information."
Right? Yeah. Well,
so
listen,
funny.
people can change their minds and be. I told them too. I was like, when you find the right person, we always think about like. We have these rules for ourselves of what we want, what we don't want. But finding the person that you want will make you throw all those rules out the window.
You got that right.
And do the exact opposite of what you thought you would.
Absolutely. You say, I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to do that. I don't want this. I don't want that. And then the right one shows up. And all that gets disregarded.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's a good thing. Now, as you guys are planning, because I saw your wedding, by the way. Congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And shout out to Major, amazing.
Yeah, he did a great
performer.
job. Thank you, Major.
So listen, let's get some advice for weddings because I know you guys are planning yours.
Yeah.
What
give
are
us
some
things?
things? Yeah, during the process.
Okay, number one piece of advice
Look, yeah.
is get religious about your budget.
Okay.
Like really set, like this is the amount of money that you want to spend, and then do at every moment keep your wedding planner honest about the budget.
So you
okay?
stayed in your budget because I don't believe it.
No.
Okay, I knew you did. I didn't believe that.
No, I did not stay at my budget.
And I feel like Joey's more extravagant. You think he's more extravagant spending than you? If I had to guess, Serayah.
Yeah, you guessed
I could
right.
see that. Okay. I can see. I just get that
Absolutely.
feeling. Okay,
You know,
so
and
stay
then
within the budget.
Stay within the budget. And then also, get creative, right? At the end of the day, a wedding is really about a memory. And so, what's the memory that you want? And look at it that way. So when you're 10, 20 years down the road, what do you want to look back on and say, wow, this is what we had for that day? So stay creative, use your imagination, and really focus on the memory. And the last thing I would say is just make sure you're doing it for you. Because the parents are going to have a say, and friends going to want to say this, and this person going to want to say that. And at the end of the day, when you bring so many voices into the wedding planning process, it can actually dilute, what the bride and groom really, really want. And so, Maria and I really, and we got input. Don't get me wrong, we got input. And, and her mom gave us, she's phenomenal, and gave us some incredible ideas. Yet we still retained the final decision on what we did and how we did it. And the day came off amazing.
I love that.
Well, them pictures look like it was everything.
Woo.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could have possibly wanted. I just think that's good. Dan, our producer, he got married recently.
Oh,
his wedding was
congratulations.
super extravagant. By the way, I was like, look, we were sitting in there like, this must have cost a ton.
So he had a way up wedding, huh?
Oh, listen, I was like, I don't know where he got all this money from. Cause
It pays to work for
he said,
Angela
"Not
Yee.
for me." So listen, the way the movie even starts off, right? It's talking about that love stories don't always start off like. What is the quote in the beginning of it?
Love stories.
I'm trying to.
They start in the ashes. I mean, that's. I can't remember the first line, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
They don't always start as fairy tales.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And that's something. Would you say that things started for you kind of as a fairy tale?
Yeah. I think so.
Like, tell
We
me
was
about
living
the,
life
tell
like
me
a
about the
movie.
first date.
It's an official, unofficial date. We still debate on this today.
I want to hear your opinion. Don't be swayed by the corner.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I can feel it. Feel it looming from that side. No, I would say I considered it a date. No, we met up and we went to a Dave. What's his name? Dave. Just Dave concert. And it's funny because I'm thinking, like, in the text, he's like, Dave. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, cool. I love Dave Chappelle, right? So,
It could have been Dave Chappelle.
So I meet him at a restaurant that he's already at. We're sitting down, and, like, for the first 10 minutes of us conversing in person, we are completely talking about different things. And I'm like, God, I love Dave. Like, he's so intellectual, but then like super funny. And he's all, how long have you known, Dave? And I said, I mean, I don't know Dave. I mean, I met him once or twice, whatever. And so we're having this full conversation, completely missing the mark. And I'm like, he's like, what Dave? Are you Dave Chappelle? What are you talking about? Are we singing Dave Chappelle? He's like, no, we're singing Dave, the artist. And I said, oh, okay, great. No, but it's so funny. That's like a really funny moment for us to this day. But
so why would he not think that was a date? Because he asked you to go somewhere. That's a date.
Well, I don't know. He was already going. Right? I don't know.
Was it like a group date? Other people were there?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I was kind of just linking up, but it was a date to me. Hello.
Okay. And you felt it, though?
No, yeah. We both felt. We were like, all right, we want to do this again.
So what was the official date he would say?
I think the official date he would say was when we were already pretty much kind of talking, but we went to this Italian restaurant. I'm not sure what one that was here in the city. But that was more of like a date, just us sit down. Right. Like, yeah.
That's cute. Yeah. See, I like that. What about your first date with Maria?
We went on a hike. We went on a hike. We went on like a 4-hour hike. Yeah.
You have to really like somebody.
That's Maria. You
right.
Date a trainer.
Were you out of breath?
I know, but it was 4 hours because once we got to the top of the hike, we sat there and talked.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
For hours. And what was so cool about that?
This is so romantic. It's ridiculous.
Is we get to the top of the mountain, and there was a couple that was trying to take a picture. And so I said to them, hey, do you want me to take your picture? And they said, yeah, no problem. So I go over there, take their picture. And then the guy comes, as I give him his phone back, he's like, hey, do you want me to take you all's? Now, this was me and Maria's first date.
Like, oh.
So I looked at her and I'm like, do you want to take a picture? She's like, yeah. So she's sitting on this boulder. I sit right next to her. And when I show you the picture, I put my arm like almost around her. And we take a picture, and literally you would have thought we had been together for years. And I turned to her and I said, do you feel that? And she said, oh, yeah. She said, you're going to love it here.
Period, Maria. I love it. I love it.
You like that book?
Yeah,
there's something about the arm around the shoulder. I'm not going to lie. He did that too.
Oh, okay. So that's the
the
Joey and DeVon move. You know what I mean? You got to do the arm around the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? DeVon and DeVon. There it is.
DeVon and DeVon.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's it.
That's when they always say that is like the real attraction is, touch. Like, you're supposed to laugh and like touch somebody's arm or like touch their leg while you do it. And that's when you can feel like if the electricity is there or not. So
there was a lot of electricity.
I love that.
Now, listen, I want to also, because Serayah, as we all know, is an artist, first and foremost, and does music. I know you're working on some new music.
Yes.
PDSO.
Yes.
All right, that's the song right now. So when is the last time you had a girls' night out?
Ooh, I don't know. It's been a little while.
Okay.
With work
all right.
and
So
everything,
it's time.
But yeah, it's time. Am I going with you?
Yeah,
what are we doing, Angela?
Girls' night
What is
out.
PDSO?
I feel it brewing up.
Put that ish on.
Yeah, it's my new song.
PDSO, yeah.
PDSO.
Yeah. Don't make me tell you the other acronym.
Right.
Okay, y'all gonna explain that to me?
Ladies.
What y'all putting on? What y'all putting on?
Just go listen. After all this, go listen to IDFN. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
I need you to listen to that. It's cool. He got it.
That's another song.
It's gonna be like, wow.
That's your song too?
Yeah.
So there's 2 songs with acronyms.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Seems like a theme at this point. Not intentionally, actually.
I gotta get up. Okay, I gotta get caught up on the Serayah tracks.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But girls' night out. I think it's time. I'm gonna take her. Joe, I'm gonna take her out in Brooklyn. Do the thing. That's cool. He's like, please have a good time, have fun. Let's run outside. No, but we on our best behavior.
Yes.
Always. And I think that is important because people like for you to know if he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. We trust and love each other enough that it doesn't even matter.
That's right.
Sure.
How has it been for Maria handling like the spotlight? Because that's a different type of spotlight.
Yeah, it is. I think she's handled it well. What I have. Let me put it this way. What's so interesting to me is, I did not necessarily, I wasn't aware of how much a spotlight, us being together would put on her. Because I'm just kind of, at this point, kind of used to it.
Yeah.
And then what I realized is that, I have to always create an environment, in our marriage that's about us, and that environment is where our safe space. And she helps, create that environment. And so she's dealt with it, one step at a time. I mean, there was, there was one time we had posted about the wedding, and then she's like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna, just step back for a minute. That's been, that's enough. And I'm like, great, babe, if you post when you're ready. So it's really been a process of just taking one step at a time and not, either pushing her or if she's feeling, sensitive about something. Okay, babe, it's cool. Hey, don't worry. Like at the end of the day, our relationship, I ain't worried about nobody in the public,
right?
Because we know what we have, and I'm so excited about it. And so I really want to be protective over it. So she's handled it very well. And it's one day at a time, because when you're not used to being in the spotlight every day, and everything that you post is, now it's under a microscope, and people commenting that don't even know you. I mean, that's a lot for anyone to deal with, even if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
So I just try to do my part as a husband to create a safe space that she knows that, no matter what anybody out there, may say, or any comments, that this is home. And this is always going to be a place that, will be for her, for us. And I think knowing that, helps, navigate whatever happens in the public. Because at the end of the day, you're like, all right, that's the public, because I know what I have at home. So she's been managing it, and I've been helping her as best I can. And it's an adjustment. There's no doubt about it. It really is.
Yeah, it's like getting thrust into getting thrust into something that you didn't even know you were going to sign up for.
Well, and that's the part that is just, it's life, right? Okay, so you can't, when God brings two people together, you're like, okay, this is how, then this must be a part of God's design, meaning the spotlight that I have, and now the spotlight that she has, this must be a part of the design. So let us allow God to show us how he wants us to adjust to this, because it's not a common thing. The lives that we live and the spotlight and the scrutiny that we're under, it's not common. It's not a thing that everybody has to deal with. So it does require a tremendous amount of love, care,
patience,
toughness, patience, and like acknowledging, being open. Like, hey, this comment really hurt. And I don't even want it to hurt, but it did. And that's on both sides. You know what I mean? That's just not on her side. It's on anyone in the spotlight. We're real people. You know what I mean? And real emotions and real heart and all of those things. So it's very possible that something can happen where you do feel the response to that emotionally. But when you have that safe space and you have that partner, it really helps you deal with whatever may come from a public standpoint.
Now, there was one thing that Ruth really annoyed me about in the movie.
Uh-oh. What was that?
We'll have to have watched it to see this. Well, but anyway, I want to see what your thoughts are on this. Why did she not tell nobody what was going on? Because it could have said, you know what I'm saying? Like, when she moved with Naomi, her surrogate mother, and then started dating Boaz, I feel like a little heads up, like, there's some people looking for me. You know what I'm saying? Because that alerts everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could have went totally left. But I'm not gonna lie. I was like, girl, if you don't say something, like, I just want to know, like, what you think about that.
I feel you. I feel like this is a common thing with Ruth too. Like, first of all, like, a lot of women are like, how did you shoot down Boaz at the bar? And then this is like another common thread that I keep hearing. Honestly, I think it's just like her wanting to escape that life, but then also I think once she started to realize, all right, this is getting real, I think she was just more so like, I'm gonna say bye to everybody and just leave so I can deal with my problems alone. She didn't really want to involve anyone new into that life that she was running from. So I
wanted her to say something earlier before things went up in flames. You know what
I
mean?
know.
I was like, girl, like,
here's the drama.
The drama.
But I understand from that point of view is I can handle this myself. I don't want to endanger anybody. But I feel like, spoiler alert, when you go viral, I already was like, they know you. Yeah.
Well, but also I think it mirrors life. A lot of times we run from the things we don't want to face. And those
try
things,
to handle it alone.
Or not handle it at all. In Ruth's case, she wasn't trying to handle it at
all.
She was just trying to be in denial about it.
Right.
And most things in my experience, whatever you're in denial about, you empower to destroy you. And so instead of Ruth acknowledging, hey, here's the problem and I need help to deal with it, she just ignored it. And then what happened?
Right.
When it showed up even more destructive than maybe it would have if she had the courage to ask for help.
The power to destroy you. Wow. Damn. That's a serious word.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anything, I believe that. Anything we're running from, it's gonna trip us up.
I feel like y'all need to write something for like Joey and Serayah to star in together. Because for both of y'all to be like great actors.
Yes.
Can you imagine how much fun?
We talked about that.
How much fun that would be to be in like a project together and then even be able to do music together.
The new Bonnie and Clyde.
That's fire. I'm just saying.
Listen, I admire him so much. So I would love to work with him.
All right. Well, we're putting it out there now. You
Got
and Tyler
it.
Perry have this deal. And
Done and done. Joey and Serayah is coming to you.
And next time you come up here, DeVon, we got to talk about divorced sisters a little. I'm not
Yes.
going to do it to you today.
Okay.
But that Pastor Jefferson, you are too much on that.
Listen.
We got to dig into this.
We
bro.
got to.
Like,
When I come back, I'm happy to
sisters.
go all the way there with you.
but the show did really well.
It
So
did.
congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's a
Thank
big
you.
deal.
Yeah.
I would have hated for you to put your whole reputation on the line for a show that didn't do
For
well.
the show that didn't work. Yeah, no. The first 8 episodes have dropped, and then the second 8 episodes will drop at the top of the year. And I can't wait for this. The first 8 were really, really good. The second 8 are even better.
Okay.
So I can't
got to see
wait.
what Myron's up to.
Oh, Lord.
Is it just one season out?
Yeah,
It's
so
one
for half
season.
a season,
Half a season,
it's 8
yeah.
episodes that you
Yeah.
could watch right now. But
Yeah,
you will
listen.
see. Listen, you walked in here. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to speak to you at first. I had to get back into mode.
That's okay. I'm working my way back. You'll see when you watch the show. You'll see.
Oh
You'll see.
gosh.
Redemption.
Okay.
But congratulations again. Ruth and Boaz is streaming on Netflix right now. So make sure you check it out. Even if you got some spoilers today, you got to watch the whole thing to really understand. But to also see the beautiful singing and acting that you did on the
Thank you.
movie. So congratulations. I think this was perfect for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Angela. Appreciate you.
It's way up.
It's what y'all been waiting for.
We